Ever since I started sport climbing outdoors, it has been a goal of mine to climb 7A. For the entirety of my climbing career, essentially, I have been climbing 6 something. That grade number 6 encompasses such a huge range. 6A, a fit non-climber could do that, but 6C plus is proper climbing. Despite it being completely arbitrary, the thought of a new number is so appealing. 7A. What I'd really like to do is to climb 7A within 1 year of the first time I climbed outdoors. That would be an increase of like 10 grades in 1 year. Imagine doing that every year. So it's the start of the season here in Scotland and I've not been outside this year yet. That still gives me 6 weeks-ish to send 7A if I want to complete that challenge. So rather than jump straight into the deep end at 7A, I think I should ease into it and get used to climbing on rock again. I'm going to pick up 1 grade higher than I left off last season, which is about 6B plus. Let's find a good one. Thin start leads to quality climbing up the thin crack. 6B plus, 2 stars. Perfect.
Ah, this is it. I can see anchors there. Looks dry as well. Nice. Excited. So that's it there. Nice. It's strange how it goes from like quite blank wall to this conglomerate pebbly stuff like halfway up, and it's such a drastic change. That start part looks hard, doesn't it? Oh, there's photos as well. Right, here's what people are saying about this. Found this harder than the 7A to the right. That's concerning. Fell at the anchor. I need to rest more between climbs. Poor route reading again. Crack was difficult to read and got out of position a few times. The start looks absolutely nails, man. It's like nothing here.
Can you reach that shock up there?
Like, that is... Oh. I can reach it with my left hand like that. Is my right hand shorter than my left? I can reach that no problem. Let's clip stick it and see how we get on. So I thought about just going for the flash, but I think I actually would die if I did that. When you don't have enough talent, use a product. So I'm going to clip the first or second or third, or if this reaches 4th or 5th bolt. So amazingly, Rockfax have actually sponsored this episode, which technically makes me a professional climber. Being paid to climb. How many people can say that? Does Andra do this?
Yeah.
There's no shame in using the full height of your clip stick. Ah, just immediately feel better. Ah. Alright, just cheating my way all the way to the top, had a look at the climb, had a feel of some of the holds. From what I can see, the crux has got to be like the first, potentially the first clip. Let's see if we can work it out now there's the top rope in. Let's see how we get on. Ugh. Oh, that's sharp. Oh.
As I suspected, the crux was actually the very first few moves. This tricky foot swap is before the first bolt, and you need to avoid the seepage before going on to by far the smallest holds on the climb to gain a good pocket.
Take him. And then delicate. Match. And then match. And there's a better one here. And into that pocket. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Feels like it's slightly easing up here. And here, seems like there's like good handholds in there. Wow. Whoa.
The climb was obviously chossy, and there was another mini crux before the chains, but surprisingly for this grade, there weren't any moves I couldn't get down on day one.
Alright. So there's a punchy finish, for sure. I would say there's definitely two cruxes. One is that that penultimate clip and moving past it to this pebble, and then the whole first section, maybe 3 or 4 moves, is like a really hard boulder problem. Well, not that hard. It's a hard boulder problem. It's probably like V3 at the start, which doesn't sound like much, but for me, the concept of doing V3 and then continuing up another 10 meters is like kind of on the limit. So great route, absolutely brilliant route. Like, has everything I want from it. Never climbed on this conglomerate stuff and it literally falls apart in your hand, but it feels good to climb on, especially when the sun's out like this. It's gorgeous. This episode is sponsored by RockFacts, who publish climbing information both in print and digitally. I want to talk about the app though, RockFacts Digital. It's essentially a digital guidebook, but having it on your phone and being able to zoom in and out on lines and different crags, and then zoom left and right on the crag and just use the phone in a more interactive way than a heavy book thumbing through thousands of pages, just makes it so much easier to use, and it's so much easier to find the route that you're wanting to look for. It's perfect for someone like me who's new to this, who's not great at navigating around the crags, and is definitely not good at looking at guidebooks. But I think it's got 76,000 routes in it. So chances are, if you've got a project, it's in here. In the app you can see photographs, you can see what people have said about the route. So if like there's a bolt loose or there's a bit of choss up top, people can comment and you can actually read that information. It's useful if you're at the crag and you want to lighten the load that you're carrying, because you don't have to carry 2 or 3 guidebooks. One of the most useful things for beginners like me is the approach notes, because I don't really know where to park my car or what the deal is with jumping fences and walking through fields. This explains whether that's okay or whether that's not okay, which means that you don't people off and everyone can get access to the crag. So go check out the RockFacts app. It's available on iOS and Android, and because you're a Mike Boyd viewer, you can use my code to get 20% off an annual subscription, which gives you access to as many crags as you like. Thank you very much to RockFacts for sponsoring this episode. Let's get back to this climb.
Having got all the moves in the bag, I felt confident to go for a lead attempt on day 2. It was time to send it.
Okay, good to go? Yeah? Right, please make the first clip, Mike.
Yeah, please.
That was a nice fall.
Alright, let's try that again.
I think I'm off. Bottling this big time. I'm bottling it. I'll come down. Ah! You okay?
I'm fine, yeah. I was trying to stop bumping into you.
Why am I being such a
It's a hard climb.
Here you can see me suffering from a bad case of go fever. I've done all the moves and the weather is good and I really want this climb, so there's a pressure to go for it, despite clearly not being ready for this.
Okay, I got it. Nah, it's not happening.
Looking at the footage now, it's clear this isn't happening, but at the time I felt like I had to send right there and then.
Here's my card.
Eventually I do get past the first clip, but my head game is gone and I climb terribly until I just give up at the end. Right, it is 9:06 in the morning, and this is the reality of Scottish sport climbing. It's 2 degrees Celsius. That's not a lot. On day 3, instead of going for the send, I decided to focus on getting the climb absolutely dialed on a top rope. My main focus was in figuring out where I was going to clip the bolts from, so that when I did go for the lead, I wouldn't be scared.
Okay, right. High left foot to the pocket. Cool. Get your hand there, and then you can put this on. Clip your rope. This is an easy clip because your hand is under this undercling, providing it doesn't break and kill you. This is also an easy clip. And you can kind of chill here for as long as you want. This is where it gets a bit fingery. So there's like a little kind of finger jam in there almost. So this section is where I was having trouble not climbing it, but clipping it. So there's a little pinch in there. And the trick to the clip is to put your foot there, and then you can hang. And you can take a draw. And it's not great with the right hand, but my hand is free and I feel quite secure, so I can clip. I feel like I've got this dialed now. Really spent ages, not just thinking about just climbing it, but actually thinking about how am I going to take a hand off to clip it and be secure. I could probably send it now, but I think I'm going to take a couple of days off, chill, and then get it on a nice cold day. But today was good. I went back to basics, figured out every single move, every single pebble is in here. I'm ready to send next time. All right, internet. Here's a question for you. I'm descending on one snap gate with a nose on it, but it's got one of these tails on it that prevents it from turning. It's connected to the chains to 2 bolts that look solid. Is that safe, or should I really have a screw gate here? Debate in the comments. Maybe there's no debate, maybe it's just objectively terrible. Anyway, I'm gonna go down on it. I feel okay. Looks bomber. Oh. All right, Kim, okay, you can lower me. Okay, I'm gonna grab these drawers. All right, it's day 4, and we're blessed with another glorious day. Feels like spring now. I think today is the day. We're gonna go for the send, full on. I've had a couple of days rest, feeling good. I've got all the beta locked in my head. Let's do it. Woo! Yes! Woo!
So, that was my first project of the year, and I'm definitely feeling stronger. Time to up the grade and find a new project. If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to follow along, and thank you very much for watching.